Have you guys ever experienced one of these before? Because with this movie, you will. I guarantee it. Hey there guys, welcome back to Mfreviews. I am your host Michael, and man, I am so excited to talk about this one. This is the Cialis that Disney has been waiting for, the one that re-energizes the whole fandom, the one that gets everybody excited again for the MCU. And I gotta be honest with you, it's been long overdue. About 4 or 5 years. Beginning of the video, guys, I'm gonna give you my review, and towards the end, we're gonna jump into my spoiler discussion and the highlights of my favorite moments of this movie. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Please leave your comments, guys. Tell me what you thought about this movie. Let's go. This movie is directed by Sean Levy, and he directed Free Guy, Night at the Museum, and Real Steel. So he's already directed Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds before, and honestly, he is the perfect guy for this movie. Within the first 60 seconds, you can already tell that it was going to focus on pure entertainment. Are you not entertained? This movie has so much action, so much laughs, and great music and great special effects. It has everything that we're looking for to bring us back into the theaters and get us excited about the MCU again. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds have the best on-screen chemistry in the world. I haven't seen anything quite like this in a long time. Before the movie, I saw an episode of Hot Ones, and you know that show where they eat the hot wings?
It just gets right.
Well, these two guys are so much fun. You can tell that they really are best friends, and they do care about each other, but on screen, they go at it so hard. They just keep breaking each other's balls. They fight, they hash it out, and it is pure adrenaline. Ryan Reynolds is one of my favorite actors. He has such great comedic timing. I've loved him ever since Van Wilder and Waiting and Deadpool and all of his movies. I will see everything with Ryan Reynolds in it. Ryan Reynolds has this particular comedic brand where it's really nasty and perverted, and he just slips it in there. No diddy, but it's perfect. It's really my brand of comedy. I like the guy. And of course, Hugh Jackman, when he's on screen, he is a higher tier actor. He takes it to a whole nother level. He steals the show, and you can't help but be drawn in every time he's talking. And man, he's just the perfect Wolverine casting. He's been doing this for 25 years, and I can't see anybody else playing Wolverine but Hugh Jackman. I'm so blown away by how entertaining this movie really was. This is truly the most comic booky movie that I have ever seen, and I've seen like 20 to 30 comic book movies, and this one really feels like they harnessed that comic book feeling right off the page, and it works, and they really need to take this formula and apply it moving forward to the MCU. Let's talk about the action. This movie had some of the best action scenes I've seen in a long time. When you think back to the recent movies like Miss Marvel and Thor Love and Thunder, and even some of the Star Wars movies, this movie felt so real. Like these guys were hitting each other hard. They weren't pulling any punches, and the choreo and everything was very airtight, and it felt so realistic and yet fun. And you know, these guys can take hits over and over again because of their health and the regeneration factors. It was so much better. It was what we go to the movies for.
Time! You look ridiculous. People have waited decades for this fight.
Let's talk about Wolverine and Deadpool's actual mutant powers. So in this movie, I feel like they buffed them a little more. They made them a little stronger, a little faster. They heal a little quicker. And it just made so much sense. It felt right because you don't want to hold back when these guys are fighting or they're fighting the bad guys. It just felt so much better. It felt like a comic book or a video game. It just flowed much better. And you could see Wolverine was a little stronger than usual. He was kicking cars. He was breaking through walls, doing a little more than what we're used to. And honestly, there's no going back. I like their power levels in this movie. And you can really feel the stabbing and the punches and the blood splattering. It was bigger, bloodier, veinier, and it was just so good. Now, without getting into spoilers, let's talk about some of the cameos. One of the cameos in particular had me freaking jumping up and down in my seat like a little kid. I mean, my kids were sitting next to me and they were probably embarrassed. You know, they were embarrassed because Papa was going a little nuts, jumping around like a little jelly bean. And I was sipping on my Diet Coke and eating my popcorn, and shit was flying everywhere. I couldn't hold back my excitement. I didn't possibly believe that this character was in this movie. I was just surprised. And it takes a lot to surprise a guy like me. I even brought an extra pair of underwear just in case I shit my pants And sure enough, a little shit did shoot out when I saw this one character pop up on screen. It was bound to happen. Now let's talk about the negatives. There were two main villains in this movie, and they were both great. Don't get me wrong, I really liked both of the villains. One of them was kind of fun and more lighthearted, and he brought a little more fun to the movie. Like I said, the fun factor was there. And the other villain was more kind of underdeveloped a little bit, but at the same time, they were developed a lot in the sense that you really hated them. They were a great villain to hate this person. You were like, gosh, like I want to defeat this villain so badly. They were so powerful, and yet it was, there was a couple of plot holes there, and but I'm just kind of nitpicking. They were both great villains. However, 2 or 3 things did take me out of the movie for a second. But however, all the fun and excitement really kind of made up for it. You can't have it all with these movies, and at the end of the day, it worked. Although the plot was kind of thin, it did bring a conclusion to one of the bigger MCU things that I'm kind of getting tired of. I think you know what I'm talking about. So I'm kind of happy that it reached its conclusion, because they were starting to get carried away with it. There's just too many loopholes and plot holes. And, I know that the MCU, they're taking a whole nother direction from the Kang Dynasty and stuff, which is good. Honestly, I was not excited about the Kang Dynasty as the new Avengers movie. I can't overstate it enough, guys. I really enjoyed this movie. I saw it 2 times. Second time with my wife. We watched it in 3D, and it really worked. It actually enhanced the entertainment value, and the shots and stabbings and the fighting. It really made a difference. So, go see it in 3D if you can. And that's why I'm giving Deadpool and Wolverine,
no, don't do it,
an A-. Anyway, guys, so here we go. Let's get into the spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, if you haven't seen Deadpool Wolverine, click away, come back, and let's talk about it. But here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Man, that opening sequence was fire, guys. I love the NSYNC Bye 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 fight scene with Deadpool, and he was dancing. I was dancing in my little chair. I was doing the whole thing. I was, I was getting it, guys. I was getting it. You were too, guys. You were singing that song. I was kind of creeped out by the Wolverine skeleton. That did kind of disturb me a little bit for some reason. I was like, is this not kind of disturbing? But hey, the music kicked on and we were off to the races. This was a great opening sequence. One of my favorites. I've rewatched it. It's been clipped 100 times on YouTube already. Awesome decision. The choreography was freaking top notch, guys. Who was using Wolverine's skeleton to kill like 20 TVA agents. Great opening. Now let's talk about the cameo that made me poop my pants. So I was not expecting Chris Evans. I saw him, of course. I had no idea. And they were playing, Cap's kind of back music, and he was winding up, and Deadpool was like, he's going to say it. And he was like, flame on. I just nutted all over the chair, guys. I busted in every hole. Oh man, but he was one of the best moments of the whole movie. It was awesome, man. He was funny. He was Johnny Storm again, the fast talking New Yorker, he was like, man, bada bing, bada boom. And he was different from Captain America. Can you remember a time where Chris Evans wasn't Captain America? It's hard, right? It's hard. But he did it. He made me believe that he was Johnny Storm again. Say what you will about those Fantastic Four movies. They have a place in my heart. I rewatched them a dozen times. Jessica Alba was white. And, they have their place in my heart. Although they were a absolute abomination to society. The other cameo that really made me bust one was Wesley freaking Snipes as Blade. There's only one Blade, and there's only ever going to be one Blade. It's kind of a little miracle because Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds hated each other. Famously hated each other on Blade Trinity. They hated each other. And, that's when Wesley Snipes was kind of like at his tail end of the career. Everybody said he's hard to work with. And it was a light miracle. And plus, he was Sony. I think Blade is Sony. Sony has Blade and Spider-Man, I believe, so it was kind of unique to see him borrowed over here. He was looking a little frail. He probably only eats vegetables and stuff at this point in his life. Why bother? Why he doesn't need to beef up like the other characters, but it worked. It worked really well. Blade was respected in the movie. He had powers. He was fast. He had all the swords and everything like that. Oh, it was great. And of course, Elektra, she was great. I heard about, Jennifer Gardner early on, so she wasn't much as a surprise to me. And of course, Channing Tatum arises. He comes out as Gambit, purple and everything, like a big old purple though, and he looked fantastic. Channing Tatum was supposed to be Gambit, but I think he decided to do 21 Jump Street and other things, and the scheduling wasn't lining up. But man, looking at him in the comic book accurate outfit was fantastic, man. Oh, man, he looked great. He looked great. I want one of those coats. I want one of those coats that he had. And how funny was it to see Ryan Reynolds as Nice Pool? That was the little simp guy, coffee barista dude. He was hilarious. There's just so many things about this movie that made it fun and entertaining, layer after layer after layer. It never got boring. Man, and of course, the biggest moment of all, the one that made me really lose my shit, was when Wolverine and Deadpool were going to fight the Deadpool Corps. And I already gave up on it. I wasn't expecting it. I gave up on the mask. And, they were playing Madonna and everything. And then Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, he gets it from behind and he puts his mask on. Oh my God, the theater was yelling and screaming. I was having an earthquake orgasm in my chair. It was meant to be. It was so good. It's been so long that we've been dying for this moment. He had the white eyes and the cowl fit perfectly. And man, he just went and had a berserker moment. They were doing like a side-scrolling fight scene with Deadpool and Wolverine fighting all of the other Deadpools. It was awesome. It felt like a video game. It felt like a comic book. It was next level. It was nowhere near the garbage that we've been getting from the Phase 4 stuff. This was pure fun, entertainment, funny, vicious, violent, bad words, everything that I've been waiting for in a comic book movie. They built this world very quickly and it really worked. They had the TVA, they had the Void, they had that big monster thing from Loki, they had Cassandra Nova and all her minions, they had all of the cameos, they had Deadpool, Wolverine complete their arcs and stories. So much happened. And yet it flowed so well. There was no dull moments at all. You know how I usually say, hey, it could have been 15 minutes shorter. They should have chopped this and that. No, this movie was the perfect length to squeeze in as much as possible. It was like a buffet. It was so delicious. And I can go back for seconds. In fact, I did. I might go back for thirds. I might take my dogs with me this time. So anyway, guys, that is going to be my Deadpool and Wolverine review. I had a great time with it. I hope you did too. Leave your comments below, guys, on what you thought about the movie. And before you go, don't forget to hit subscribe and like and all that good stuff, guys. Stay with me. Join the MF Army today. I'll be right here making more videos, I promise. So anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with me for a little while. I really appreciate it. I love you all. So take care of yourself, guys. Take care of your family. God bless, and we will see you on the next one.